What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. Last night, we finally broke 30,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for subscribing and all of the support, and especially to everyone who leaves comments down below. It really helps grow the channel, so Tom and I just wanted to just give a huge shout out and thank you to all of our subscribers. Thank you guys so much. In this episode, we're going to be talking about all of the plays that we're watching in the stock market right now and all of the news that came out in the stock market today. And we have a lot of interesting plays, even though the market was pretty flat today, so make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video. And if you guys want to get free day trades every single morning and network with 11,000 other traders for free, you can click the Discord link, which is the first link in the description down below. But with that being said, Tom, what happened in the stock market today?
CNBC reports that Georgia will recount presidential election ballots by hand as Biden's lead grows over Trump. And they're really trying to beat a November 20th deadline for certifying statewide election results. And if they do that, it would be pretty big, as they're going to look each ballot over hand by hand and make sure that, each person voted for who and etc. So really, this is going to put any doubts or put any doubts in people's minds pretty much away. I think that this will definitely help the election. And obviously, if they hand count every ballot, then you can't really say that they messed up anyway, can you?
True. So, that's just some political news that can affect the markets. Obviously, the market loves certainty. And when we have financial certainty, when we have political certainty, the market loves that. And, just some interesting news to watch out for in the coming weeks, I should say.
Yeah, it could bring a little bit of volatility in, but like you said, the main thing was that the Senate is held by the Republicans, which generally means that right now there's that political gridlock, like you said, so there's not going to be a lot of stuff getting passed. But some other news that came out was that Bubba Watson says that he's ready to move past the stresses of 2020 and take on the Masters this weekend. And we can see that DKNG popped today, and DKNG could do well with the Masters coming up as golf fans bet on the largest tournament of the year. And it's just one of those more of a fun thing to talk about. DraftKings is one of those stocks that it's pretty much a growth stock. That's a stock that's based around sports betting online, and it's done very well since IPO'd. Since their IPO price of around $17.60 on their first day, and right now they're around $41.64, but their high was $64. And I know right now a lot of people have been picking up shares on them, and they have earnings coming up. So the Masters this weekend, I think, could play a little bit of an effect on DraftKings just because it's the biggest event for golf, and they really had to delay the Masters tournament in golf as well. So that's something to also keep in mind, because a lot of golf fans they really always anticipate that Masters tournament, and even people who don't like golf sometimes just watch the Masters. So hopefully that could be a small boost to DraftKings before they report earnings.
Yeah, like I was just going to get into that. They have earnings before market open on Friday, so we might see a little bit of a run-up here on DraftKings with the Masters news, but also with earnings, maybe like one of those pre-earnings run-ups. So definitely keep your eyes on DraftKings for the rest of the week.
Yep, and then the oil sector had some pretty good news today as well. Let me go to the oil chart /CL, which is oil futures on Thinkorswim, that is. And you can see oil futures really gapped up today and ran pretty strongly up to the upside. But this pretty much, we're going to be putting sanctions on the Russia gas pipeline included in the U.S. annual defense bill. And this bill can affect Russian companies in construction of the pipeline, including ships helping operations to lay pipelines or moving rock formations on the seabed. And the oil sector has been popping the last couple of days. But one thing I really wanted to talk about is that a lot of traders have been talking about getting into USO, which has been perceived by the public to have been following oil stocks or oil, that is. And the thing is that you can see on USO's chart, whenever oil futures were nearing $0 on that one expiration that they had, you can see how low USO got. And whenever USO started gapping down this hard, it really became apparent that USO was not really following oil. So for the long term, some better oil stocks could be USL or DBO, which actually follow the oil market on a consistent basis. And the reason that this is because USO is actually a fund, and a fund could consist of futures. It could consist of equities, different oil equities like Chevron, and all types of ETFs, pretty much. And there's a whole bunch of different things that could be in that fund. And USO's fund has not been following oil as well as a lot of these other funds that are safer, like USL and DBO. So I think if you're looking to get into oil for the long term, I think that USL and DBO would be a lot better of a way to go than getting into something that's super risky like USO that may not even be following oil.
There were just a lot of problems with USO back when oil was going crazy, like when the futures went below zero for some time. Just know if you want to play oil, USO is probably not the way to go. There are alternatives like Tom listed. So, is there any other news that happened in the market today, Tom?
Not too much. Today was actually a pretty dry day for the markets considering the times we're in.
True. All right, so now let's get into our momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first one is Walmart, so WMT. And Walmart has been creeping up the past couple days, and they also have earnings coming up. So, what levels are you watching?
Yeah, definitely make them pop above 149, which seemed to be a pretty definite top today. I really like that if they can move above that level, and it looks like that they're moving above a lot of these pretty good support lines that we've had on them over the past couple weeks.
Awesome. With the next play, we have Disney, but this one is potentially to the downside.
Yep, Disney, go ahead and make them fall below 136.50.
All right, and then last but not least, we have Boeing, also potentially to the downside.
Yeah, Boeing, I would make them pop below the support right around $180, and we can see that that one extends past or extends back a couple days whenever Boeing was running up. They really consolidated on that level pretty well.
Awesome. So thank you for sharing that. And now let's get into our member of the day. And today's member of the day is Kathy. So Kathy made a post earlier today saying, thank you for the put on NIO. It's the first time I made money on a put, and she made 30%. So huge shout out to Kathy. Keep up the great work and awesome job being disciplined to take profits when you have them.
Yeah, definitely. 30% is a pretty strong number. Congratulations making money on a put for the first time. And I know a lot of traders that are new have a lot of problems with the options, and puts are pretty scary in the beginning when you don't know what they are, but fantastic job to make that 30%.
Awesome. I mean, the biggest thing is discipline. Some people, they're not satisfied with 30%. Some people are, shooting for 200% or, even more in some cases. So I think discipline is huge. So great job, Kathy. And now let's get into our unusual options activity for tomorrow. And we are looking at the Boeing 190 strike call options that expire this Friday, November 13th. And there was about $4.3 million put into this play today. I mean, looking at Boeing, it's the 190 strike calls, which are about $8 out of the money right now. And there's 2 days left of time into these options. My first thoughts are that they're shorting them because $8 out of the money with only 2 days left. I mean, I don't know. It's not a smart idea to put $4 million into that with 2 days left of time and being so far out of the money. So, but like we said yesterday, though, when Boeing gets in these types of trends where it skyrockets for the past week, it does have a lot of momentum still. So I'm more neutral than anything, but unless Boeing just skyrockets and breaks weekly highs tomorrow morning, then I'm just going to think that they're shorting this call.
Yeah, definitely. I would think that they're shorting it too, especially with Boeing being down today. Whenever the stocks are down like this and they're that far out of the money, it'd be very hard for me to say that they're longing them with 2 days left, like you said. But sometimes Boeing can just run. Look in pre-market with Boeing the other day, they just pretty much ran. But this was the day whenever pretty much the whole market did that. But that's one of the risks you run, is that the market could have another red black swan event, or tonight something random come out, and the market could just gap up like this in the morning. So you always run the risk of that, but that's just trading, and you always have to have risk management in mind.
True. So, Tom, let's take a look at NIO. So, NIO, everyone's been talking about it lately. It's a stock that went from $2 to $45 in the past, 9 months. And this stock has a ton of momentum, and it's just exploding, right? But I do want to highlight a group trade from the stat modeling program yesterday. So we actually jumped on NIO puts yesterday and took profits right at open. So that was actually what Kathy was talking about. So if you guys want to trade the same options like Tom and I trade every single day and get access to the machine learning bot, you can click the stocked up options alerts link in the description down below. But yeah, I mean that was NIO is just kind of going crazy. Like, what are you thinking, or what are you seeing on NIO for the next couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, really, NIO, I was really starting to think maybe this was where NIO would go ahead and turn off and start becoming very bearish. But as we can see at open today, it went very red on this 1 minute chart. And within around the first 15 to 20 minutes or so, NIO pretty much started going up for the whole rest of the day. And I really think that NIO could continue this trend up into tomorrow. They closed up very strong today, and it looks like they're really heading back up towards those highs around 45 or around $45.30. I think that's a pretty good level. And NIO, they might actually pass that tomorrow, given how strong that they've been today. And you can really see the bull flag that they had midday today. I really like that. And over the next couple weeks, I think I'm honestly still kind of bullish on this for right now. I know I was honestly looking for it to kind of fall back down, but I think that with if it does end up recovering and passing above 45.30, I'll be pretty bullish on it. And I really love how strongly it closed today.
Sure. I mean, we really got out of those puts at the perfect time, but it does have a ton of momentum. So you're going to want to watch out for that. But they also have earnings next week too, so that's going to be a huge event. So definitely keep your eyes on NIO. And let's get into the comments from the previous episode. With the first comment, we have Mr. Cena saying analysis for DOCU, TWLO, and CRWD. So he's asking basically what we think. So Tom, what do you see with DOCU?
Yeah, with DOCU, I really like them actually on the short term. It looks like they've been really bullish over the past few days, and it looks like they might start running back up. They were really strong today, just like what were we talking
Well,
about?
actually, Tom, quick note. He's looking at these all for the long term.
Oh, all for the long term. Okay. Yeah, still, I mean, I still think that DOCU is pretty good for the long term, given what they're in. But right now, I think that their price is a little high. But like I said, I think that I might be a little bullish on them this week or over the next few days. And I don't think it's the worst to get in around $200 on this stock, given that they were around $300 a while ago. But, just looking at their chart over the past year, they still have a lot of room to fall if they did fall. But the thing is nobody really knows what's going to happen. And if it's a good enough company, they could still go up. And I think that given what they do, they're one of those types of companies that could definitely go up.
Yeah, hot tech stock. With the next one, we have TWLO.
TWLO, Twilio. I actually don't know what Twilio does fundamentally, but I really like their stock right now. It looks like they have pretty steady movements to the upside. It has been pretty volatile over the past couple of years, like a couple of stocks have been. But Twilio, I really like the bounce off the 100 SMA over the past couple days, and I think that we could see them bullish in the short term, but in the long term, I'm also pretty bullish on them as well, given how much they've ran with COVID. And you can really see this year how much that they've really have gapped up.
True, yeah. So Twilio is in the cloud communications business, and then the last one he was looking at was CRWD.
Yep, CRWD, CrowdStrike, all these are pretty much those hot tech slash cloud stocks that have been doing very well lately. And I still like CWRD, but just keep in mind that if you do have a portfolio, I wouldn't necessarily add all of these to it. I would try to diversify a little bit if you're trying to get into tech stocks, that is. And just keep in mind a lot of these stocks are up a lot over the past few years. So like with CRWD, for example, they were at $50 in March and April, and now they're sitting around, right around $130. So that's a pretty big, pretty big gap up over this year, you could say. And I think that they could kind of consolidate slash fall back over the next 6 months, but over the long term, which is 2 to 3 to 5 years out, I could really see these stocks rising.
Awesome. Then we have Mento saying, "Hi, Mike and Tom. What do you think of ARKK for the long term?" So he's talking about one of the ARK ETFs. So I pulled up some of the holdings for ARKK. Basically, it's an ETF with a lot of tech stocks and a lot of growth stocks. We could see in the past, or actually back in March, this ETF hit lows of about $33, and it actually hit all-time highs of 106 a couple weeks ago. So it really took advantage of the run-up in the past couple months. Some of their biggest holdings are Tesla, NVTA, Roku, Square, CRSP, TDOC, Z, Work. So they have a lot of tech stocks. And with that being said, we all know that tech stocks have just been exploding in the past year, you could say. So the only thing with tech stocks is when they pull back, they normally pull back. They're normally more volatile than like normal blue chip stocks like Coca-Cola or Costco or Starbucks or something like that. So that's like the only downside. I like it for the long term. I like the ETF. Just like anything, don't go all in. You know, you're gonna want to diversify.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of these tech stocks are really high over the past few years as well. So just keep in mind that if those pull back, ARKK will pull back as well.
Oh, absolutely. And then with the last question, we have Piper saying, great video. Can you guys talk about Snap? You guys are the best. So thank you so much, Piper, for that. And Tom, what are you seeing with Snap?
Yeah, I mean, I know that they were running up a little while ago off of those fantastic earnings that they had, and they were adding all types of new users, and they had more snaps sent than ever, and there were so many good analytics coming out. But right now, it looks like their stock is really starting to turn back to the downside and potentially fill that gap back in. And over the past couple days, they've been really, really red. I mean, you can see they've fallen from 46 all the way down to around 37, 35, so about 10 points on this. And I just really, I'm pretty bearish on them still. They're staying below the 100 SMA, and I just think that they just look pretty red. And I know that they were doing very well though those past few weeks. So I wouldn't be surprised if they turned around soon and ended up going back up. But just keep in mind that the way that they rose was pretty parabolic and pretty it definitely was not expected. So I think a lot of traders would be taking profits up here around 45, especially the ones that were in at $15 just earlier this year.
True. Yep. So do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the rest of this week?
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about was SPCE once again. I'm going back to SPCE. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but SPCE was up 7% today. And ever since Monday, they opened Monday around $19.50 or right around 19.80, and right now they're right around $22. So I think SPCE could keep up for this week, and they have test flights coming up at the end of this month. And the big thing is that SPCE is the only space stock that you can really invest in right now. You know, I'm really looking to invest in the space stocks in the future, like space mining companies, for example. I think that there's a lot of potential in that. But really, SPCE is the only space company you can get in right now. You know, I know a lot of traders would love to get into SpaceX, which is owned by Elon Musk, who's the owner of Tesla, and obviously that would be awesome. But they're not publicly traded like SPCE is. So you know, SPCE has they just hold one of those types of crazy things where they're the only stock that's publicly traded for that type of market.
True. Awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. And again, thank you guys so much for 30,000 subscribers. Tom and I really appreciate it. So if you guys want to see our videos on your YouTube homepage every single day, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys want to check out our free daily pre-market day trading watch list, you can click the first link in the description down below. Like I said, completely free day trades, and then also access to 11,000 other traders. And then last but not least, if you guys want to trade the same options that Tom and I trade every single day and our machine learning bot, you can click the StockedUp options alerts link in the description down below. But besides that, thanks for watching.